At the age of 37, she realized she'd never ride through Paris in a sports car with the warm wind running through her hair. The guards came to my door and told me that Charlo was dead. He'd murdered a woman not too far off. This was a different guard than I'd seen before, not one of the usual ones. He was 20, skinny, young kid. He looked miserable. "Mrs. Spencer?" he said. I entered high school in 1969, and where I came from, you were either a slut or a tight bitch. One or the other if you were a girl, usually before you were 13. My daddy called me a slut the first time I put on makeup. My brother Roger called me a slut when I wouldn't let him feel me in the kitchen. I was 14, he was 12, and it was dark out. I was a slut before I had left primary school. I was a slut before I knew anything about sex, before I was even a proper teenager. My daddy said it, my brother said it, girls said it, everyone said it. They were all in on it. But Charlo, he respected me. He didn't try and pull me behind a wall or get his feel or nothing, none of that. He was holding my hand, and I was with Charlo Spencer. And he was the king, and that made me someone. Not a queen or a princess, no. I was just someone. And it was a start. It filled me. I could feel it in my walk. I swooned the first time I saw him. My legs went all rubbery on me, and I knew I had lungs because I was suddenly empty and I was gasping for breath. I remember the first time he hit me. He lost his temper and he hit me. It was as simple as that. He lost his temper and he hit me. He sent me flying across the kitchen and I hit the sink and I fell and it was black and there was nothing. And then next thing I knew, he was coming down to meet me and he said, "Are you all right?" He was looking, searching, looking for marks, looking for blood. His face was full of worry. He was always full of worry. "You fell," he said. I fell. I'd been too near to him. He'd been warning me. He didn't know his own strength. All of that. It wouldn't happen again. We'd laugh about it later. Oh, that night, and the night after that one, and the next night, and the night after that one, and that one, until I couldn't laugh anymore. Someone once told me that we don't remember pain after it's gone. She was a nurse. She'd seen me before. Said, "I fell down the stairs. I'm terribly sorry." "But what happened, you said?" I said, "Make your own fucking tea." I provoked him. I always provoked him. I should have just kept my mouth shut, but no, that didn't work either. I could provoke him whether I was talking or not talking, whether I was sitting, whether I was standing, whether I was looking at him, whether I was not looking at him, whether I was looking at him that way, whether I was not looking at him that way, whether I was sitting again, what if I stood up randomly, whether I was in the room, out of the room, being there, just being what happened, I don't know anymore. The woman who said we don't remember pain after it's gone was one of the most sweet nurses I've ever seen. But there were no questions asked. What about the burn on my hand? What about the missing teeth and hair? Why wouldn't you ask me? Just ask me. I wanted her to ask me. Just ask me, ask me, ask me, please. I'd tell her, I'd tell them everything. Just look at my hands and look at the burns and ask me. But no. I remember crying when I knew I was pregnant. She wasn't welcome. I didn't want her. I was aware that my belly was pressing against the sink as I was washing dishes and the sunlight was streaming onto my face. I was a young, attractive, loving woman with a young, attractive husband who was bringing home the bacon with a smile on his gorgeous face. And then I was on the floor, and that was the end. "Make your own tea," I said. I wonder what would have happened if I would have gone over, put the kettle on, and made him some tea. But make your own tea. Me and my big mouth, but make your own tea. I wonder what would have happened if I hadn't have said it. I wonder if none of it would have followed if I hadn't said it. Yet I keep blaming myself for it, for provoking him, for not loving him enough, for not showing it. I was always to blame for the broken teeth and the missing hair and the trauma, and I kept thinking of the what-ifs. What if? He wouldn't have hit me if I hadn't. None of the other tears and blacked out nights would have happened if I hadn't. My son John Paul looked at the bruises on my face, and he hated me. Why'd you fall down the stairs, Paula? Did you walk into a door again, Paula? Why did he do that, Paula? Why did you do that, Paula? My name is Paula Spencer. I'm 39 years old and it was my birthday last week. I was married for 18 years, but I'm a widow now. My husband was killed by the cops after he had murdered a woman. His name was Charles Spencer and everyone called him Charlo. I have 4 children, there could have been 5. The oldest is Nicola. She's 18 and I don't have to worry about her. The next is John Paul. He's 16 and he doesn't come near me. He has a tattoo on his upper left arm and that's the only thing that keeps us together. I gave him the money for it for his 14th birthday so he would stop hating me. The next is Leanne. She's 12 and she's brilliant, beautiful, smart, gorgeous. I never, ever want her to grow up. Last Saturday I found a love bite on her neck. And last there's Jack, my baby. He's 5 years old and being hugged by him is like nothing else. He's bright as a button. I have a mother, she's 60, she's doing fine. My father is dead. I have 2 sisters and 3 brothers, and I'm an alcoholic. My children have gone without good food because of my drinking. I don't enjoy it, and I don't remember a day that I did. I need it. I shake, my head goes, everything goes black. I still think of Charlo. I miss him. I want him to come back. I can still smell him, especially in the pillows. I can't afford new ones, and frankly, I don't want new ones.